Hi YouTube, today we are talking about Min Min and her talks around town. There have been a couple things that have been happening. Some people in the NA online scene want to ban her because she's basically boring and kind of degenerate. And then in Japan, I don't know if there's quite the a ban argument, but Min Min VODs are getting spam dislike bombed by Japanese players for not liking her, and I don't know how universal that is. I don't really understand exactly what's going on over there, but either way, people are very unhappy with Min Min. So let's talk about why. Look at how big these moves are. Look at them. That hit from like half screen. So obviously, she has an amazing neutral, arguably the best neutral in the game, because she has good jumps, she has good out of shield options, good nairs, and of course she has the longest range of any character by a lot. Like, it's kind of crazy. She has really early kill combos for no reason, great edge guarding, a lot of stupid setups. She's just actually insane. I thought this character was good for a long time. A lot of people in the Japanese scene put her in top tier, although of course it varies where in top tier, right? So I want to talk about what, like, kind of just like the theory of like why you would dislike a character, just in general. Of course, the Ultimate community is very good at, you know, disliking characters and being very vocal about it. So I kind of don't blame people for doing so. So yeah, this character is kind of insane. I've always thought she was better. Let's talk about like the Japan stuff first, where Japan has had Min Mins have success in their offline events because again, they're handling the pandemic better, so they're able to kind of have offline events that are less risky than in the States. Offline Min Min is kind of insane because she has the ability, let me do this, to time this move, ram angle down, smash attack, on people's recoveries for free. Not for free, it's still somewhat difficult because charge release I think is frame like 5 or something. Let me actually just check that. So realistically frame 10, so it's not super easy to time, but it is easy enough given the fact that it's pretty degenerate. It sends at a terrible angle, and it's very repetitive, and you just do this over and over again on a lot of recoveries. And there's not much you can do about it, like the Shotos, space animals, any character that has a teleport recovery, like it's rough to get back to stage, basically. Of course, again, she does have other great things about her, but this isn't like talking about why Min Min's good, but kind of why she's degenerate. She has very obvious and very strong win conditions with both this, ram angle down. She just has her general ability to camp. One thing that you do have to note about her is for counterplay, just for the people that are aware, if she ever does a smash attack, she can't jump or move. The only time she's able to jump and move is when she's doing tilts, but the minute she does a smash attack, whether it's in the air, like, well, in the air, I guess you can still move, but you can't jump. So, if you are in the air, or rather, if you do a smash attack, you will not be able to jump or move around on the ground. You can still move around in the air, although, again, it's very committal. You cannot double jump out of it. So that's going to be your big commitment. So you really have to watch out for when the Min Mins do smash attacks and then kind of try to jump over it and hit them then. Or like parry it and then run in. Granted, of course, they have two arms, so if you shield this arm, I can wait and then throw out that arm later. If you're going to try to run in, if you're going to jump, then maybe I have enough time to shield. Or, you know, again, if I do this first, I can do this as an anti-air. It's not a fun time. It's difficult, right? It is very difficult, in my opinion, to get around Min Min, which is one of the reasons I've always thought she's a good character. Like, a very good character, as well as her just general combos and advantage. She is very good. She has pretty safe aerials and stuff like that. But let us get back to the ban talk or the dislike talk. People in Smash like to fight or to like camp with like projectile characters and find this way around defensive zoning. And Japan particularly has a lot of zoners. Think you have T, you have Shuton, you have Kamame, you have several Young Link, Toon Link players. I mean, you have T, you have I've talked about the Toon Links and Young Links, although I forget their name at the current moment, or at least Toon Links. They, you know, Samuses like YB. You have a lot of anti-zoners in that meta as well, with people like Zero Suit, but a lot of the times they're going to be camping because Zero Suit's camping is broken. But people in Japan like to camp, so it's not exactly the fact that people don't like the fact that she can camp. It's just the fact that she plays very unlike other characters in this game, very clearly. And especially, like, she's just kind of... She's very polarizing, right? Like, she does obviously lose several matchups. She's not the best character in the game. I don't even consider her top 10, and I have a very high opinion of her, at least of North American players. I have her in like top 15, top 17-ish, whatever my tier list was, which I'll link up above if you want to watch the tier list, just saying. Just plug in the video. But she just is very different, and it's not... Like, you don't have obvious counterplay. You don't have the obvious weaknesses of this character, except for when you get hit. But again, her neutral is so strong that, quote-unquote, just getting the hit is not a viable strategy. like, oh, just get in perfectly. Like, that's not realistically gonna happen, especially, like, this character kills so early, too. It's kind of wild. Like, the risk of getting hit by this character versus the negative for Min Min of getting hit is just, like, super skewed in her favor because her combos are insane, and then of course, she's going to win more neutral interactions and vice versa, so if she ever wins one when you're trying to be aggressive, or she guesses wrong, or rather you guess wrong, she up smashes out a shield or something and gets back into neutral, now she's going to struggle. She's also good on a large variety of stages. I think she's basically only bad, in my opinion, at least, on like Smashville and Lilat, which granted, the Japanese scene doesn't even have Lilat, so it probably like makes it a little easier for people to dislike Min Min there because they're gonna get FD all day. Like, FD is such a popular stage in Japan, and it always has been. And she's really, really good on FD. She's also really good on town. Like, she's good on the large majority of the Japanese stages, because I think basically the only bad one is, you know, Smashville. But so, of course, here comes the question. Is a character bannable because you don't like them? Because they're lame? Because they're slow? Even if they're not winning all the time? Because, of course, no Min Min players are consistently winning. Even in the online scene right now, we have Peckham and Dabuz doing well, but neither of them win events consistently or at all. Of course, does that mean that she can't be banned? Do you think she's healthy for the game? That is a question that, of course, a lot of people can and have asked, especially in, you know, recent times when people are talking about this, because people really don't like Min Min. It was kind of like people thought she was okay, and like it wasn't a big deal, and then suddenly everyone was like, you need to ban her because she's toxic, which granted, I play her because she's toxic, so I agree that she is toxic. Like, I agree 100% that she's toxic. She's busted, in my opinion. But so, let me just throw my opinion out there for the ban debate. I don't think she should be banned, especially not online, because there are worse problems online in terms of viewership and in terms of people being lame, which would be like Sonic and Rob and, you know, the slew of very polarizing Wi-Fi characters that aren't really as dominant offline, although Sonic still, again, does do well offline with Ken and Wrath and several others, but mostly those two. But if a game is dying because of a specific character, I honestly think that it is somewhat okay to ban them. I mean, again, just for clarity's sake, I was pro Meta Knight ban, right? Like, I wanted Meta Knight banned 100% because I thought that, well, granted, I thought he was just broken and he should not have been legal because he's clearly the best character and there was really no counterplay to him except hope the Meta Knight messes up. So that's a little bit different. But I was anti-Bayonetta ban. But, you know, I'm someone that I think that the negativity surrounding a character can lead to people wanting the character banned, or rather, like, the negatives that could lead to a character being banned. Like, I think if people weren't as negative towards Bayo, which granted, she was amazing, she was clearly the best character, although she did have counterplay, I think that once people start complaining about a character, then when that character shows up, people complain about that character, like, live in person, or stop watching videos and things like that, and you can literally see viewership and stuff like that drop. And if there is a substantial enough drop, and if there are enough Min-Mins that do well, not that they have to win, but let's say there are 8 in top 16, even if it's all of, like, even if it's everyone in 13th and 9th and no one in top 8, I think that that would be somewhat problematic for viewership and for tournaments in the future. Do I think that means it should be banned? I don't know if that's a definitive yes or no, just because banning a character is a big deal, right? Like, it's very different banning a character than banning stages. Like, I didn't want Hero banned, even though, like, the RNG argument was somewhat valid and the not being able to read different languages was somewhat valid, because, like, banning a character is banning people's livelihoods, especially in the age of esports. Where, like, if you ban a character, and let's say, I think Proto Banham plays this character, right? And he would be like Proto Banham is the best person that probably mains this character at this point, because I played as a secondary, Dabuz plays it as a secondary, Wrath plays them as a secondary. Like, it's very much a catch-22, as someone in chat said, because if you do it too fast, you're accused of just being like, oh my god, you just hate this character, this is bandwagony, but if you wait too long, the game is dead, right? Like, Brawl died in part because of Meta Knight, and Smash 4 died in part because of Bayo. So, if you want the game to live, is it wrong to ban a character to save its longevity? There's not a definitive answer for that, in my opinion. I would still, at the very least right now, say no Min-Min ban. I think that it is somewhat immature to dislike bomb videos. If you don't like a character, just ignore them. In terms of VODs, you don't have to watch VODs. You can go, like, eat a sandwich, go make some food, go, like, just kind of tab out for 10 minutes until the next set happens, and unless they're popular enough where they are constantly in every set. I think it's fine to ignore games. Like, I really, when I'm watching majors that I'm not going to, like, online, I definitely, I'm like, oh, I don't care for this matchup. I tab out, I play chess, I eat food, I go shower, whatever, especially in, like, 3 out of 5 territory. Like, I didn't watch T versus Wrath, even though it was on stream. I watched the secondary stream at Frostbite because I didn't care for the set, regardless of how good those two players are, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a slight towards the people that play those characters, it's not a slight towards the characters themselves, just because I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch this matchup, because, like, me personally, I don't really take offense to characters existing. Like, you know, again, one of my least favorite characters to watch and to play against is Ness, but I think Ness is still a hype character, you know what I'm saying? But it's strange. Like, banning a character is very, very difficult. Especially when it's not someone that's just dominating the meta. If a character is dominating the meta, I think it's a valid ban. Because, like, again, there haven't really been that many bans, like character bans throughout history of fighting games. Like, there was a soft ban in Akuma and Street Fighter 2, there was the Meta Knight ban in the regions that did Meta Knight bans, and, like, I can't really think of many more. I'm sure there are a couple that I'm forgetting, especially in, like, the more obscure fighting games, like the Ivan Ooze and the, whatchamacallit fighter, Power Rangers fighter. So while I do think that Min Min isn't, of course, especially in the states where offline is, or online is happening and there are really only 2 Min Mins, because I don't enter tournaments, so I can really only think of 2 Min Mins that are doing well, which is Peckham and Buzz. Of course, Buzz is an amazing player that can beat people with not Min Min, doesn't really matter. But banning characters is always a strange little thing. But hey, what do you think about it in the comments below? Let me know if you're. I'm super down to have this conversation. Again, I don't think it's necessary to ban Min Min. I know a lot of people in the States and just like North America in general. I don't know about Europe, if I'm being honest. Don't think Min Min is that great, so I don't think they care, given the fact that I feel like there are worse characters for viewership, again, like Sonic and stuff like that, and we already had that conversation. People kind of agreed, let's not ban Sonic even though he's lame. Like, I think, again, it's like, if you don't like the character, don't watch the VOD. If you don't like the character, don't interact with the tournament for a little bit and then come back. I think that is totally fair. You don't have to like every single character. You don't have to think every single matchup in the game is fun to watch. Like, I think that is a bit unreasonable to be like, you must like everything about this game. Like, I think complaining for no reason is kind of stupid, because especially like as a professional, like if you are a professional complaining, it's like you should just probably learn how to deal with it because it's your job. Like, I think it's still fair to like not want to watch or to like be annoyed at a character, as long as it doesn't blind you and as long as you have like some ability to like separate your annoyance with it with like how bad it is for like the scene and stuff like that. But yeah, that's going to be about it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, social media, Panda, and Partner stuff is down below. Again, let me know. I'm very curious, and I will see you all next time.